So when it comes to buying your first drone, there's a lot of options out there and it can get kind of overwhelming pretty fast. Well, hopefully this video makes it a little bit more simple for you. I'm gonna go ahead and recommend the DJI Mini 2, specifically the Fly More combo. Now the Mini 3 Pro did come out a few weeks ago, but quite honestly, it's kind of expensive to its predecessor. You can get the DJI Mini 2 Fly More combo for $400. And when you get a similar package with the Mini 3 Pro with the old controller, it's gonna run you about $925. So for that reason alone, I really recommend the Mini 2 if you're a first-time drone pilot. I will add with the caveat is if you are intending to shoot reels for Instagram or TikTok in a 9:16 format, the Mini 3 Pro does have the ability to shoot in portrait. And while you can crop the Mini 2 into portrait, I believe today, especially in the short form video content world that we live in, that if you're an Instagram or TikTok creator, you might want to fork up the extra money for the DJI Mini 3 Pro. But in most scenarios, the Mini 2 here, it's gonna get you by just fine. It's what I currently still shoot on, and I post a ton of Instagram reels. As long as you frame your shot accordingly, cropping's not too bad. So let's just go ahead and dive right into what you get with the DJI Mini 2 Fly More combo. First and most important, it comes with the drone, of course. It's nice and small, great for travel, weighs only 249 grams, which means it basically beats out on some of the regulations and restrictions commercial drones have. Now, the main reason why I suggest getting the Fly More combo is it comes with this battery pack that charges all the batteries. They say you get about 30 minutes of flight time on it. That's depending on the wind and the conditions, obviously. In optimal conditions, you're probably gonna get around 27 minutes because you're not gonna be flying it back at 0%. Then it comes with the controller, obviously. This is just a phone controller. You slide your phone in here. A little caveat is a lot of the times you might have to take your case off because you don't get a lot of room if you have a big phone. And also the connector doesn't really quite get into some cases. On my iPhone 13 Pro, I can't get it into my case, so I always have to take it out of the case. That's a little annoying, but not the biggest deal. It packs down really nice. These joysticks come off and slides right into here, just for carrying and protection. The thing that I honestly should use more to protect my drone is this propeller guard for travel. It basically just clips onto your drone and keeps your propellers nice and tucked tight so you don't damage it while you're going back and forth. It comes with this carrying case, which honestly, never use because I think the purpose of a lightweight drone is taking it backpacking and stuff. So this guy's just hovering in the top of my pack most of the time. And in the bag, you'll find a couple of extra things like extra propellers, a tool to apply the propellers, some extra joysticks for your controller, as well as all the extra connectors for this if you don't have an iPhone and has all the cords you would need for any phone that you have. Now, everything you see right here, especially if you look on eBay for used Fly More combos, you can get it around $400. And they also don't depreciate in value too fast. I mean, if you want to upgrade to the Mini 3 Pro, or I'm sure there'll be a Mini 4 next year, or whatever DJI is doing for marketing. If you buy this Fly More combo at $425, $400 this year, I bet you it'll probably be like $350 next year. So you're only depreciating in value like $50, $75 maybe. You can use that money towards your next drone. The last thing I recommend is getting a set of ND filters for your drone as well. This is not included, but it does increase the quality of your footage, especially when you're flying in the middle of the day or in the sunlight. You're just gonna get a lot better, cleaner footage. So I do want to go into a couple of the technical specs of this guy, but I'm going to play that at the end of the video. I really want to get into some drone footage here to show you what this guy can do. Last month I went to Lake Tahoe with my girlfriend and got some beautiful footage using this drone from the east side of Lake Tahoe. Was able to pick up the crystal clear blue water, the mountains in the background. It was just pretty immaculate. And I was using an ND filter as well, which I think helps with the quality. It definitely helps with the highlights and blowing out any of the highlights in the background. But here's some of the footage that I shot. I'll leave a link down in the description below to a video I did earlier this year that goes over some beginner drone shots just to get your hands wet in the cinematic theory behind drones. They're pretty simple movements, but if you go into a shot with a purpose in mind, your footage is just gonna look that much better. Okay, so diving in a little bit more of the technical specs here. On your phone, you're gonna wanna download a couple things if you're a beginner drone pilot. I definitely recommend the app UAV Forecast here. It's gonna show you a couple things like wind gusts and weather, rain. You can switch over to the map mode and it will show you basically any no-fly zones, local airports, basic laws and stuff like that. Another thing you can download is Flight Radar 24, and this will basically just show you flights that might be interfering with your potential drone flight. It's always a good idea to just check this guy right before your flight just to make sure you don't kill anyone really. And lastly, the Dji Fly App is pretty nice. It's very user-friendly. I've never had any issues with it. You can preview files from your drone right on this camera, and you can download the full res image through Bluetooth. At least I think it's full res. It might be a little bit deterioration in quality. I haven't tested that out or looked that up. And basically when you plug this into your controller and turn your controller on, turn your drone on, it recognizes that it needs to connect automatically most of the time. I've never ran into an issue, and you'll just press connect and it will populate a few warnings up top or cautions that will show you how to calibrate your drone and any other things that it might need you to do. Keep in mind, it's always nice to wait for full satellite connection, so that way you know you won't be losing your drone if it goes off in the distance somewhere and the return to home feature isn't working because you don't have enough satellites. Okay, so this drone, you are gonna want a decent memory card for this drone to record in 4K and high quality footage. I recommend getting the micro V30 SD cards. This is a 64 gigabyte one. You can get bigger ones. For what I do, I never run out of space. But if you get lesser speed than V30, you might start seeing quality content loss. So diving into what this drone can handle, it can handle up to 25 miles per hour wind. That's where that other app comes in, so you can check the wind speeds. I wouldn't recommend coming even close to that. Set it to like 20 as your max, just so to be on the safe side, you don't want to lose your drone in the trees just for a shot. With OcuSync, it says it has a 6.2 mile range. Quite honestly, never come close to 6.2 miles. I start getting connectivity issues, especially when I'm in the woods, in the mountains, anywhere up to just 1 mile away. But in an open field, maybe. It's also not practical because you're supposed to have line of sight of your drone legally, but for all purposes of exploring the world and taking landscape photography and videography with this drone, you're not gonna really need that 6.2 mile range. You're gonna be seeing your drone most of the time when flying, so I really wouldn't worry about that too much. Now, the best picture quality it has is 4K 30 frames per second, and for pictures, it shoots 12 megapixel pictures. I've had negative critiques on this picture quality for myself previously, but honestly, I think that's just, I'm not really a drone photographer, I'm a drone videographer. I'd rather take all my pictures on a camera. I think I just need a little bit more experience, and I've seen some beautiful edits done by other people using this drone for photography. Flight speed on this guy is 36 miles per hour. Again, there's not many scenarios where you're gonna need that. If you're really looking for speeds and drone shots that require speed, you're probably looking at an FPV drone, which I have not gotten into yet. But the cool thing about this controller is that you can switch between cine mode, normal mode, and sport mode. Slower, cine mode, medium speed, normal mode. Sport mode is fast mode. Most of the times when I'm shooting, I have it in cine mode just to get that nice buttery footage of my landscapes. And I can flip it into sport mode, bring it back home. As far as a beginner drone pilot, most likely like yourself looking at your first drone, I don't think you need more of the technical specs outside of the specs that I just gave you. So my overall rating for beginner drone pilots for the Mini 2 is highly recommended. For a beginner drone, it's a 5 out of 5. There's no real big faults to it. It's a perfectly usable drone, and you get some pretty nice content, especially when the lighting's right. It's sometimes quite often looks like a more professional style drone, which is just, for that price point, you really can't beat it. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Please, if you want to keep up to date on my latest content for photography, videography, and drone stuff, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below and that notification bell so you can keep up to date on my latest videos. If you do end up picking the Mini 2 or another drone, I'd really like to see what you guys come up with for your first drone shots. You post on an Instagram, please tag me in it. My Instagram is @joseph_valenti_. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.